Tonight we're going to read chapters 11 and 12 of Boy Overboard by Gleitzman. Let's find out a bit more about Jamal and Bibi. I wake up, my neck is stiff and my eyes hurt in the sunlight and I've got breadcrumbs stuck to my face. I'm still on the floor of the taxi. Bibi is asleep on the back seat. Her head is on my arm and she's dribbling. I gently wipe the dribble off her chin with my sleeve. It's what Mum would do. I kneel up and peer out of the window. Dad is steering the taxi off the road. We bump over some potholes and stop under a row of trees. "Are we there yet?" says Bibi sleepily. "I hope not." In the distance, past the trees, I can see the roofs of the city buildings. I don't know much about the city because I've only been to the city twice in my life. But I do know one thing. City buildings often have the government in them. "Good morning, you two," says Dad anxiously. "Is Mum here?" I ask anxiously. Dad takes a moment to answer. "Not yet," he says. "She'll be along a bit later." "How much later?" asks Bibi. Just for a second, I think Dad is going to lose his temper. The tops of his ears go pink, which is always a dangerous sign for certain members of our family. But he just swallows and looks determined. "I'm not exactly what time she'll be here," he says, "but she will be, I promise." That's all I need to hear. Our family, we always keep promises. Mum's probably getting a lift from one of the other school families. Mus's parents have a motorbike. We all get out and stretch our legs. I glance up at the trees. The fronds are rustling in the breeze. I think how lucky city people are living in the country. We don't have trees, except for I now see that these aren't real trees. They're actually light bulbs with huge straggling branches of tangled cassette tape hanging off them. In among the flapping brown strands, I can see empty music cassettes. I know what they are because Yusuf's grandfather has some. He loves Dolly Parton. Dad sees me looking. "Tape trees," he says. "The government hates music, so they confiscate tapes from motorists and chuck them up there as a warning." Dad stares at the ruined tapes. For a moment, I think he's going to climb up and rescue them, but he doesn't. "That's why I taught you to whistle," he says, "so you can annoy the government whenever you want." I give Dad a grin. He tries to grin back, but his eyes won't go along with it. Poor thing, he's been awake all night. Early morning traffic zooms past us towards the city. Suddenly, I have a scary thought. What if the passing government employee from the illegal schools department recognizes Dad? I try to stand between him and the road. "Come on," says Dad. "Let's get you two settled down." I'm not sure what he means. He grabs the bags from the taxi and leads us through the tape trees to an abandoned shop. I can tell it's a shop from the big faded Coke and Fanta signs on the front. Dad has told me about the days before fizzy drinks were banned. The shop door is hanging off and inside it's a bit messy. The old floor are campfires that have gone out and tattered pieces of cardboard, the type that people without houses sometimes sleep on. "Sorry it's not cleaner," says Dad, "but you'll be safe here until I get back." I stare at Dad. "Are you leaving us out here?" I say. "You're not," says Bibi, outraged. "You're not leaving us." Dad hugs us both. It almost feels like he's more scared than we are. "I've got to go and pick up Mum," he says. "It's better that you two wait here." "Why?" demands Bibi. That's what I want to ask too. Why can't Mus's parents drop Mum here? But I don't, because from Dad's face I can see that there's something that we don't know. Something scary and dangerous. Something that makes Dad want to keep me and Bibi safely hidden away here. And I am scared to ask. Dad kisses me and Bibi on the head. "There's breakfast in that bag," he says, trying to sound cheery, but his voice is trembling. "I won't be going far. The soccer stadium is just over there." "The soccer stadium?" Dad is pointing out of the shop past the tape trees, and in the distance I can see the top of a curved mud brick wall. That must be it. A soccer stadium. The one place in the city I have always wanted to visit. Dad suddenly drops his arm as if he hadn't meant to mention the soccer stadium. "Bibi," he says, "can you get the breakfast things out?" And then he steers me out of the shop. He hands me a folded piece of paper and a wad of money. This is just in case I'm not back here by late this afternoon, he says softly, glancing over his shoulder. To make sure Bibi can't hear, find a taxi and give the note and the money to the driver, and he'll take you both back to the village. I will be here, I promise. I've never held so much money in my life. I'm staring at it when I realise that Dad's in the taxi and driving off. I wave, but I don't think he sees me, and then I stuff the money and the note into my pocket and go back into the shop. Let's have breakfast, I say to Bibi. I don't say anything about the money. I don't want her to be worried. One of us is enough. If Dad doesn't come back, says Bibi, we're going to use that money to buy a tank and blow up whoever has hurt him and Mum. Little sisters, they see everything. I can see she's struggling not to cry. While we eat, I try and cheer her up with stories of the best goals I've ever seen. She's not very interested, not even the one where a West Ham striker slipped over and grabbed wildly at something to stop him, falling and accidentally pulling down the Arsenal goalie's shorts. I'm not very interested either. All the while I'm talking. I'm not really thinking about the golden goals. My mind is somewhere else. The soccer stadium. Why is Dad picking up Mum there? Jamal, complains Bibi, your yogurt is dripping down my leg. Suddenly it hits me. I know why Mum and Dad are going to the soccer stadium. They've got the same plan as me. They're going to talk to the government soccer official about me and Bibi. They're going to explain how our soccer skills will help Afghanistan have a national team one day, so the government won't want to kill us anymore. That happens in families. People have the same idea. Bibi and I both gave Mum blackboard dusters for her birthday last year. This is fantastic, I say out loud. It's only yogurt, says Bibi. I explain to her what Mum and Dad are doing. I can hardly get the words out. I'm so excited. Bibi is doubtful at first until she realises she's in the running for the national team too. Fantastic, she says, eyes wide open. Another thought hits me, one that makes me jump up and spill the rest of my yogurt. If Mum and Dad are really going to convince the government soccer official, they need us there too. People are milling outside the soccer stadium, hundreds of them. They seem pretty excited, but not as excited as me. There must be a match, I say to Bibi. The government must have given permission. This is great. The national selectors could be there. Mum and Dad, you are so clever. I smile as I imagine how delighted the national team selectors will be to meet us. Their job must be so boring, never selecting anyone. Bibi looks doubtful. I don't think I'm ready for national selectors, she said. I've only ever scored one goal outside my bedroom. You'll be fine, I say. It's a talent they're looking for in a 9-year-old, not the experience. I give her the ball to hold while I tuck a few strands of hair back under her hat. It's actually Dad's hat, so it's a bit big. Remember, you're meant to be a boy. We won't show them you're a girl until after you've dazzled them with your ball skills. Those pants of yours are really loose, grumbles Bibi. I can hardly walk in them, let alone play soccer. There were quite a few taxis pulling up outside the stadium. We pushed through the crowd, looking for the red one with a green driver's door and a photo of me and Bibi hanging from the mirror. No luck. Mum and Dad don't seem to be here yet. We'll never find them, says Bibi, pulling up my pants and squinting through the dust. I keep looking at her. I explain to her that this stadium is nowhere near as big as the ones on TV, but it can still probably hold 2,000 people. That's at least 200 taxi loads. There'll be plenty more taxis arriving before the match starts. What if they've parked the taxi, says Bibi. What if they're in the crowd? It's a good point. We push through the throng, looking for 2 familiar bodies. Still no luck. Bibi cups her hands around her mouth. Mum, "Dad, where are you?" she yells at the top of her voice. I grab her and pull her through the crowd, away from the staring faces. "Bibi," I plead, "we don't want to attract attention as much as we are. Just the selectors, okay?" I can't believe it. Some people just don't know how to behave when they're on a government death list. Then I see something amazing. The stadium gates are open. People are walking in without tickets. There aren't any ticket collectors. Either they haven't arrived yet because they couldn't get a taxi, or it's a free match. "Come on," I say to Bibi, "let's look for Mum and Dad inside." The stadium is almost full. It must be a big match. Maybe a famous club is on tour. Real Madrid or Juvenitas, or even Manchester United. Sir Alex Ferguson could actually be in the dressing room right now, giving his players a stirring speech and checking up their hamstrings. "Let's go to the high seats," I say to Bibi. "We'll be able to spot Mum and Dad better from up there." We push our way up the crowded steps to the very back row of seats, right to the top, 10 or 12 rows from the pitch. While Bibi peers around at the spectators, I lean back over the stadium wall and check out the people and taxis around the entrance, except for there aren't many people left outside and hardly any taxis. Suddenly, the whole stadium goes quiet. For a few panicked seconds, I think it's because they've recognized me and Bibi as students from an illegal school. I put my arm around Bibi, but it's not that. An army truck has driven onto the pitch. I'm shocked. Don't they realize that heavy vehicles can damage the playing surface? It's really hard to dribble through tyre ruts. I know, I've tried. If Sir Alex Ferguson sees him, he'll go mental. The truck drives to the far end of the pitch, stops, and the soldiers jump out. They open the back of the truck and drag out several women. Even at a distance, I can tell they're women because they're covered with clothes from head to foot. "What's going on?" "Look," whispers Bibi. "Their hands are tied up." She's right. And the soldiers start chaining a couple of the women to the goalposts. Suddenly, I understand what's happening. It's a warning from the government. The women are pretending to be soccer players. The government is showing what will happen to women who play soccer. I feel Bibi stiffen as she realizes this too. Part of me wants to run onto the pitch with Bibi and show the crowd her soccer skills so that they'll see how stupid the government is. But another part of me is starting to think that this isn't such a good idea. These soldiers have got guns. Even though this is just pretend and the guns probably aren't loaded, they could possibly still give you a nasty whack around the head. I can tell that Bibi feels the same. She's shaking. "Jamal," she whimpers. I hug her close. Smoke is pouring from the back windows of the taxi as it hurtles past Mum and the two soldiers. It does a half circle in front of the other soldiers at the far end of the pitch, spraying them with grit. Burning oil cans fly towards them out of the driver's window, and the soldiers duck for cover. The taxi accelerates out of the smoke and speeds down the pitch towards Mum. Two soldiers with Mum aim their guns at the taxi. Mum scrambles up and starts running again. Because suddenly one of the women breaks away from the soldiers and runs towards our end of the pitch. All the spectators in the stadium start yelling at her. They yell angry, rude, nasty things. The people around me are getting really worked up. The noise hurts my head. I put my hands over Bibi's ears. I can't take my eyes off the woman. There's something about the way she's running. No, it can't be. No, don't let it be. A lot of women have clothes like that. A lot of women run like that. The exact way Mum used to run when Bibi was a toddler. And we had a family walk in the desert and Bibi made a break for it. "Mum," whispers Bibi. "It's Mum." It is. It's Mum. Down there on the pitch, hands tied, running from the soldiers. This isn't pretend, this is real.